is amazing. Oh, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moscow and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down to the hill. Sam Noble wants to snip on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't implemented it, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we can do it wrong. God's just absolute thinker, but it's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
G'day and good morning everyone tuning in for this belated grand finale round of the IMSA Shadow Series, all thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. My name's Peter Gretton and Tyler Sheaf in once again for this one. It was a great season this. Me and Hamish and myself rather, had a lot of fun bringing this to everyone. Today though, it's sort of a practice session into our partnership for the 2024 GR86 series, Tyler. Good morning to you, mate. We'll get this right today. Silverstone, it's a great track, and I think multi-class racing will be suited here.
Good day, Pete, and yeah, obviously good morning to everyone else out there, and hopefully you guys are having a lovely day. But yeah, today Silverstone GTP GT3s. I have experience racing here before in GT3s, and just yeah, it puts a bit of spice in with the faster cars out there approaching you. I definitely at the back of the track at the S's are very, very dangerous because they can approach very quickly and can cause a bit of havoc. So it'll be interesting to see what it does within the race. But I'm definitely looking forward to what's happening tonight. And yeah, what's your thoughts on it so far this season?
Oh, my thoughts, it's been entertaining from the get-go, I feel. And well, just because we got you in here, Sheafy, I might flick to you. One thing that Hamish and myself have been speaking throughout this season of the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series is the fact that I like, whether I'm calling it masterclass from admins, where towards the final stages of the race, the GTPs have to get through the GT3 class towards the end of the race, meaning they're both battling to finish in their respective positions for their respective classes, but then they have the added challenge of the lap traffic, or the slower class car rather, or the faster class car, whichever way you want to look at it, at the end of the race. That's how I've seen it. That's the thing that I've enjoyed most, Sheafy. What's it like being out on the track and having to endure the faster or the slower class cars at the pointy end of the race when it all matters?
Yeah, it can be very awkward. I definitely know for sure that I've been to the back a little bit more slow in the GT3. I get really wary when the fast boys come, especially in the GTPs, Try to move out of the way and try to be in the best position as possible. You can see in the relatives when they're approaching you, and you just hope that you're not in a battle, because you know that if you're in a battle, it's so awkward, because you're like, well, I'm fighting for position here. I understand you guys are in your class as well, but every point counts out there, and it can be very, very difficult at times. But after a whole season of doing it, you do some long endurance as well. You start to get used to it, and you start to. Oh, and the best thing about the league is that you race them week in, week out, so they start to learn and adapt how you drive and where you will let them go, where you will not let them go, and yeah, it does become a lot more cleaner by week 9.
And that's another thing that I'm looking forward to as we say see you later, adios to the 2023 series of all the respective categories that we have here on SRW TV, Sheafy, is that all the scores, all the slates, all the battles, the riffs, they all start again, and that's awesome to to be part of a series from the get-go, as you just alluded to, and then watching the drivers and their racecraft and sort of the education level, let's call it that, of all the drivers racing around each other. So we do see a lot more incidents and accidents at the start of a series. Wait until I think the end of Jan we start again. That's going to come into it. But yeah, I do like enjoying that aspect of it as well. But the battles, hopefully some of these guys can return, or most all actually can return, Sheafy. But hopefully some of these battles that we've seen throughout this series can return for 2024, as the guys are out in qualifying at the moment. And as always here in the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series, GT3 out first. They'll smash out their lap times. They'll get 15 minutes. Then the GTP class will come out. Sheafy, we know there's going to be a safety car. We won't talk about guessing that because, well, yesterday, if you tuned in, I failed pretty epically, didn't I, mate? But I know there's a safety car earlier on, and that's been something that we've sort of tried to get out of this series, haven't we, Sheafy? The early mistakes, but it's big fields and it's easy to trip over one another.
Yeah, all it takes is one little small mishap from just one driver. Go into the corner or just misjudging, cold tyres. I know that we do have a roll-around lap, but it's very short though, so you don't really get the warm-up tyres. So I know a lot of drivers are very eager because it's only a 45-minute race, and especially in the fast cars as well, you want a real good start. Just to see one of the O'Loughlin in the Juice Fog League car just having a bit of a spin there on his first out lap. But yeah, it's very difficult, because if you can get yourself a real good start, you can set yourself up for the 45 minutes. One pit stop roughly in the strategy, so you want to be ahead of anyone, especially if there is a safety car early on, because it gives you a massive advantage on the restart.
Yeah, and the restarts, you've got to be mindful as well, and we'll see this today. That's what I've noticed throughout this series, is that you've got to be mindful of the race start, and you've got to be mindful of the of any restarts that we get, because, well, essentially it's you're starting all over again.
Yeah, definitely correct on that one. But I do see Ryan Price coming in, saying, yeah, the boys, thanks very much, Pricey, for coming in. I hope you do enjoy the stream, and yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing you back out on track next season in the GR86s. But I'm wondering if you're still there, if you've got to dip your toes into maybe GT3 or something else for season number 1. But see, the times are quickly going in. They only got 15 minutes, so every lap counts. But first lap out there, you already got 2 minutes flat from Patrick Frame. That's a very quick lap time. Not many drivers will be able to get into the 59, so pretty quick already from the get-go.
Yeah, it's not showing a 59 on my end yet. It's showing a 2-minute .78. So again, it's a little bit finicky, isn't it? Doing broadcasts off replays. I for one absolutely hate it. So hopefully next year 2024, there'll be 0 replays. So we're all going to pull our socks up and we're going to get it done, and we're not going to miss around. That's a big call. I'll put my hand up if I miss around, and I'm sure everyone else that's in the team will put their hand up and, well, make sure it doesn't happen. Sheafy, is 2-minute .7 is the time to beat, and just like the F3s, we sort of talk in tenths and hundred, don't we? 2-minute flat .779, 785. So the top two are in the 2-minute flats. It's a big lap here at Silverstone. What sort of times you thinking will be race pace for the GT3s, rather?
The race pace will be 201s. It just depends really, like how efficient the slipstream is for some drivers. There's setups, a couple of cars will be different, have different setups. They'll either want to have a bit more top speed and try and see if they can make an overtake, or maybe just more to the S's and just get a bit more grip and just make a move on there. So it just depends on the driving style, the way how they approach it. I know for sure that you want to try and follow the lead as much as possible. learnt in qualifying, as you see, only 5/10 off Connor Nixon from the first out lap. So just trying to keep up with him and just learn their driving lines can be very crucial, as you see a lot of the drivers just putting in bankers laps like Hughes, O'Loughlin, just 2:15, 2:17. They know the first lap isn't going to be the best. But you see Adam Hughes out there right now, got purple sectors everywhere. It'll be interesting to see where that puts him, and that goes straight into the 59, so 59.6, which is a very, very good lap. And yeah, very competitive from the get-go.
There we go, first 59, and that's Adam Hughes. He's been a driver to watch out here, and if we have a look, and we've spoke about him all season, haven't we? Oh, Hamish and myself have, Sheafy, that Porsche. I think Adam Hughes, he's picked that up at the local weighbridge, that Porsche, and he's super quick in it, and yeah, well, he's the guy to beat when it comes to this car, and just a challenge out there, Hughesy. What do you reckon if you come back for the IMSA Shadow Series next year? Throw in another car, mate, and let's see if he can be as sort of good and unchallengeable, if you may, in a different car. That'd be an interesting challenge.
I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of drivers out there that's just very flexible. I know for sure, yeah, always have arguments when doing endurance. The Ferrari better, the BMW better, the Mercury's better, the Porsche is better. For me, I just find that the Porsche, as you say, I am out there in the Porsche. For some reason, I get really comfortable with that car. I don't know what about it, but it feels so right for me, just the way how you flow and everything like that. And that's what I like as well. I'm not a big European fan of cars. I'm more of a Japanese fan with the RX-7s and the Skylines and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, everyone have a little bit of a different taste, but that's the best thing about it. Like, you see just different drivers, exploring different. So you got a Lambo out there, you got a Ferraris out there, you got the Mercs, you got BMW. The one thing I do miss out there though is the McLaren, the fire-breathing Dragon out there. I did see a few in the Fuji 8 hour, and that was good to see. But yeah, these boys here, I'm pretty confident they're just happy with the car that they want to drive, and they would normally stick to it. As you see, Adam Hughes, 3 more purples, but not good enough for a cricket lap, which is very unfortunate. But you can see that a lot of their drivers here just using the strategy, using the first 8 minutes to try and put in a good fast lap or two. If not, go back in the pits quickly, refresh their tyres, put some fuel back in it, and off they go again.
Yeah, that's a question that I was just about to ask you with fuel. Do they have to wear down their fuel loads, mate, or can they just put in exactly really low fuel numbers and just go for a belter?
No, they could definitely just put in 5 litres, 10 litres tops, and go for about just use the first 2 laps as an out lap, and the third one is a real good one where you can get your tyres nice and optimum. But yeah, like some drivers are a little bit different. Like, I'm more of a momentum person, I believe, so I'd rather put 15 laps of leaders in, and then just by the time we get to that 15-minute mark, I feel more comfortable and feel I can push the car to the best, even though the tyres aren't the best at 100%. But yeah, that's just the way how I drive. But it's good to see that you see Frame out there was a 2:03, but Ganadas as well, 0.16 is the second quickest Ferrari out there. But just different driving style. That's what I love about the GT3 is you can't predict what race you're gonna have, because when you look at it, you've got 12 different drivers out there. They all have a different taste. As you see another Ferrari as well. There's so many Ferraris out there. I think I forget the most out there was 4 of them, equal with the Porsche, and unfortunately everyone else only have one other car out there. But yeah, obviously different cars will have different styles. I know the rear end of the Porsche can be very difficult. You can spin it around very easily. Unfortunately, I haven't had that major mistake in a long endurance race. That would be a bit embarrassing after putting so many laps in. But when you've got to push the car in 45 minutes of a race, you can make a mistake pretty easy. But yeah, it's good to see that these boys out there just trying to push again. As you see, Thomas Friedman has a good third sector, but a few other boys out there just trying to get their qualifying laps out now. With only 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, Connor Nixon will just on board with him just before. He's the only BMW, as you just alluded to before. There's only one BMW and one Mercedes. Thomas Freeman, what can he do? He's got a couple of oranges and a green sector. 1:59.645 is the time to beat, and Adam Hughes is the only man to get in there at the moment. But if anyone can do it, it's this guy right here, Thomas Freeman from Fishy Motorsport. We know how formidable that team is, as Freeman stays where he is with a 2-minute 8:06. And we've got to be careful too here at Silverstone when we call them the race, because I, for one, have been tripped over quite a few calls here, because we're running the international layout, Sheafy, and it comes with this layout, the two different starting section, as Braden O'Loughlin is just crossing one of them now. So that was a good example. So that, in fact, is around about the halfway race point, mate. So I don't know about you, but I'll be taking that note on board, because I know I've been tripped over that a lot. But hopefully we can call the run to the flag, well, the checkers, once we get there, off the finishing point. I'm sure you won't have a drama, mate, but I think I might, as Adam Hughes, it looks like he's maybe gearing up to go one more, although he's the only one in the 59s, mate, and quite comprehensively too. 1:59.6 plays 2-minute 0.3, so that's some almost 0.7, roughly, good part of 0.7 of a second in front. So Hughesy, look out for him in the GT3s, because if he takes some of this sort of momentum into the race, he's going to be unbeatable with almost a second different in lap times. As Sheafy, I just seen you fly up the tables there with that time, 2-minute 01.2.
Yeah, no, that was a really good lap for me. That came out of nowhere. I definitely did race before this, just trying to warm up and get my head around the track, and I was struggling in the 204s. I couldn't get any quicker, so thankfully the league allows you to have a driving line, and it allowed me to rethink where my braking marks were, because I think I was braking a little bit too early and just not being comfortable in the car. But that's the best thing if you guys are out there, looking to come and race. Definitely do. I know the IMSA series is a A class in the officials, and they do take away your driving lines and certain other abilities out there. But in the league, we do allow that for newcomers or people just learning new tracks for the first time. Nothing we want to do is make you feel very uncomfortable out there on track. So don't be too afraid to jump on board. You can learn very quickly, especially with the fast boys out there. You can learn their line, learn just what they do with their technique, and before you know it, you'll be a second or two quicker before the end of the season. But as we see, just a few drivers there just trying to push out for another good lap. Greg Garber got two good personal sectors. Unfortunately, two orange in the third and fourth, but going to the last sector now, he's trying to push the car as much as possible to get into the top three, and he has improved, but unfortunately only fourth position to 20.786. But it's obviously good that he's getting quicker along the way. But Braden O'Loughlin now just the next to go over the line, two personal best sectors as well. But this time it's in the third and fourth, coming around the last corner now, and he has improved his lap time, but it's in P7 though, so fortunately it didn't move up the leaderboard. But it is 15 minutes done now, so everyone out there, which is Freeman, Ganadis and Hodgkinson, are doing their very final laps, and the GTPs are now going out on their warm-up lap. So final laps here for Freeman. It'll be interesting to see what happens as well. He does go orange, he does go across with the 208, but unfortunately that doesn't improve his time. Ganadis is next to come across now, go on personal sector. That could be a massive personal sector for him compared to all the others, so it'll be interesting to see if he moves up the leaderboard as well. No, go straight into the pits, so unfortunately he's out for qualifying, the Callum Hodgkinson now is the last one out. Looks like he's very close to a personal best there in the third sector, currently in P11. He's definitely another driver as well that goes out there, have a bit of fun as well, and learns a lot from his teammate as well. But he's in a different car though. He's in the Lamborghini compared to the Porsche. So interesting to see the strategy in the teams driving different cars as well. Normally, if you drive the same car, you can put the same setup and work together. But it looks like Callum Hodgkinson rather drive the Lamborghini, coming around the second last corner now.
And another.
To see. Oh yeah, I'll let you go, mate.
No, you're right, mate. It will be interesting to see what he can put in here for Hodgkinson. And just getting back to what I was just about to say as he pulls out of that one, and we'll get on to some of the outlaps from the faster class, the GTPs in fact, and we've seen this all season, haven't we, in qualifying. They don't muck around when it comes to, I say, grabbing their colours and getting set for some teammate qualifying, as we call it. So we've got the Mez, he's out there, or it's actually not even his teammate, he's just grabbing a random. But that can be, you know, you need to do sometimes, grab a random. If you're out by yourself, you need the draft, especially here in this class car and some of the tracks. There's few sections of this track, Sheafy, that the draft will be key, but let's go. And Sheafy's just answered the question there. Yeah, so 45 minutes, GTP, GT3. And for everyone, cheers for everyone tuning in. It's 9:26 in the morning where I am up in Queensland. So it's an odd time, but apologies once again. We won't miss a round next season, I can assure you that. Well, I can only speak for myself. They're LMP2s in this league, GTP and GT3. So I do believe that's pretty much the IMSA series at present in the real life, isn't it, Sheafy? The GTPs and GT3s. I could be wrong with that one though.
Yeah, I definitely believe it is just GTP and GT3s currently in the IMSA series. It is aligned with the actual official series, so it's 45 minutes like no other official race. But the best benefit about this allows, the league allows anyone to race. You don't have to be B class or A class to run it. You can be a rookie, you can be D class, you can be a dirt main. You can come across and have a bit of fun with these boys out there on track.
Yeah, let's definitely have some fun. And we've got Freo in chat, mate. Jump in green room. You're always welcome. We'll get a chat with you while we're in qualifying. We might even get you to hang around if you want, mate. But jump in green room. We'll get Sheafy to drag you in, and any other drivers as well. If you want to chat, jump in. This is a replay. Let's make a good light of a bad situation and get some insights from some of these drivers. And Jake Edwards is a driver to note here tonight. I'd like to get a chat with you, Jake boy, if you're around. Very, very surprised to see his results at the end of this season. No spoilers, but we've seen him throughout the series, and well, not saying that he's a slouch behind the car, but wow, he's really come into one with these GTP cars and really enjoying it. As the time at the moment for this driver, crisscross driver Edwards, 2 minutes point 7, so a little bit off. That's his outlap. 1:43.4 though, Whiting and co as the times start to come in, and Mez is just behind him, or half a second behind him.
Yeah, definitely interesting to see. Like, once again, a little bit of strategy difference as well. Some people just putting in bank laps for their first one, while the others are just going straight out for it. Obviously, not playing any games right now. But yeah, in the 43 from the get-go, you see Scott Hassler just going straight into P1 with a 43.1. He's a very quick man out there, and I see Whiten as well, just on top now with a 40. So yeah, Whiten 43.1, the Hassler 43.3. It's just quick from the get-go. I definitely know for sure if I was in these cars, I would be nowhere near them. Probably 10 seconds off. They'd pretty incredible with the speed that they can maintain in the corners and be so confident. I definitely know for sure I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do a lot of things that these guys can do. And I don't know, Steve, if you're watching, mate, fix up my perms, bro. I don't think I've got perms in this. I'm not too sure if he's done a little bit of moving around, but we want to get Tom in when he joins back in the green room, so I'm not too sure if you've got your perms in Discord, mate, but we'll roll with the punches and we'll keep on with qualifying at the minute. The times are well and truly coming in, so we're around about 6 or 7 minutes into this second stage of qualifying. GTP's out on track at the moment. 43.1 for Whiting, 43.3 for Grotch, 43.3 for Hasler. The times are close. We've got a GT3 driver, Tom Frio, mate. Oh, of course you're welcome in here. Welcome to you, mate. Good morning, first and foremost. And you happy with your qualifying session? Or were you happy with your qualifying session that just concluded?
Hey, boys. Yeah, it's awesome. My day off, and I get to jump in with you boys and watch. It was actually a really good race. I wasn't too bad. This was the first time I used my new pedals, so it actually did really well. So, but it's awesome. I know my old man's about to turn it on too, so we got almost the whole Freeman crew in the morning watching it.
How good's that, mate? So, yeah, definitely, as I've just mentioned before, anyone wants to jump in, we'll obviously do one at a time, Sheafy, but it'd be good to have some of the drivers in, especially this bloke here, one of the Fishy Motorsport stables, and I tell you, he's been driver to watch in throughout all the series on SRW TV.
No, definitely with that. Obviously, Thomas, I'll just let you know, unfortunately, Pete and everyone else don't like the Avengers spoilers. I've had to keep me upset yesterday and got to do it again today. But what's your thoughts so far on the season in this class? Like, obviously, you drive GT3s, but just, you're a hell of a lot quicker than me. But what's your thoughts when the GTP car approaches you during the race?
Oh, look, it's always scary, especially when you do I do a lot of the like the iRacing series, so not really the special. Well, you got the special series with the GTPs and the LMP2s, but you also got the like the endurance series, and it's always scary because I'm not sure if it's like I don't know, we're from Australia and you got Americans or whoever else is in the lobby with you. It's kind of like that lag thing, so you try to give them as much room as possible, and every time they're coming up to me, I think of it as a fuel-saving opportunity. So not really risking the car for, 10, I wouldn't say 10 seconds, but maybe 5-second loss, just lift off, let them go, and then, your car's good. You can still make it, to the end, hopefully. So, yeah, you just got to be careful around them. They are really quick, but normally they're pretty respectable when they race. So, yeah, I don't know. They're all right. Definitely scary, though, for sure.
And Sheafy trusts one of the Fishy boys to bring up fuel saving, mate, eh? Because I tell you, the Fishy boys are probably one of the best, if not the best, at fuel saving. A couple of your boys out on track. Mike Whiting, boss man, Fishy Motorsport, Tom, is out on top at the minute with provisional pole 143.1. So he's got 2/10 on Grotch and Hasler at the minute. So he's getting a little bit of help from his teammate as well, and that's important, especially in these open qualifying sessions, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Who's driving it with him? I don't know who that is.
So that's Michael Whiting here, and I think who's that behind him?
Ty?
Maybe Ty, and is. Yeah, Ty's up behind him. So
yeah, Ty. Yeah.
Mike's just towing him around, I think, a little bit. 143.1 for 138. Oh, it's showing Ty Delaney's on a 138 as well. That's because the it's loaded. So let's get rid of this qualifying stuff here because that's confusing the what out of me. So, well, we just got a spoiler then. You spoke about spoilers, Sheafy. 143. I'm pretty sure Delaney will match Michael Whiting's time in this qualifying session. Let's see if Mike Whiting can get up there a little bit. One of the Fishy boys around. That was Whiting, in fact. So get that out of your system.
Yeah, definitely as well. Volume starts as well. I thought, no spoilers at the moment, but what's your number one goal in the volume start? I know for sure, like week in, week out, sometimes there's a little bit of havoc in lap one, but what's your thoughts of going to the first corner?
Look, especially here, I think there's always a little bit of carnage. So I think it's more of, you just got to be patient for the first few corners. And I mean, it comes into that, I think, turn 3, it's very tight. So you've got 2 pretty fast corners straight into a heavy braking zone. So you've got to be thinking a little bit ahead. So yeah, look, just be patient. I mean, look, it's how long was the race? 45 minutes. So look, you've got 45 minutes. So if anything was to happen, you can come in, you can come out, regroup, and maybe play a little bit of strategy, and go from there and stay safe.
It's all about staying safe, and I think, well, the beauty of replays is we can sort of get a little bit of a heads up what's going on. A little bit of side-by-side action in qualifying. Actually balked out, I think, was Hasler from one of the Fishy Motorsport guys there. He was holding his line, but they've got to watch that too, because race control, Tom, although they're really fair and consistent, is what I've found. I think Tyson McAvoy's our race control, or was our race control. They're pretty hard on you for blocking, or even if you don't do it intentional, the race control are there to ask you, please explain. And just one more thing, just one last question, then we'll get back to calling this, as we got 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. Tom, race control, as a driver's opinion, what's that been like this season? And yeah, for a loveless job, they've what's your opinion on the decisions and how Tyson's handled the team?
Yeah, honestly, Pete, I think you've nailed it all on the head there. It hasn't been a paid league like through this season for all the races that they do, and literally there's races almost on every night, and it's been free. So they do honestly an amazing job, and I've actually brought this up before in the V8 series and in this in the Shadow series as well. It's awesome, and like you said, they are fair, and that's what matters, I think. And even in qualifying, it's just more of a let's be respectful. I think it's more about respect for the for the race control dudes. So I think that they harp on it a little bit. Just be respectful out there. Just say if you stuffed up your lap and you're not going to improve or whatever, just stay off the racing line, get out of the way, because there are guys that are coming through. But yeah, I think look, there is 1 and 2, and I think it's honestly, if someone makes a mistake, it's just an honest mistake, and if they get a rear grid or whatever it may be, we just move on from it, and we all learn from it. So no, they've done an amazing job this season, or last season, I should say.
Yeah, well, it's going to be good. I'm sure that they will bring their consistency when we hit to the track again, I think at the end of next month, Sheafy, as the times are pretty much set. You've probably got one more flyer from a couple of these guys. Hasler, 142.5, 42.9 for Grotch, Whiting, 43.1. Ty Delaney, 45.6. He must get a late lap in, if I was reading it correctly. Ferguson, 145.6 at the moment, a little bit further back from where he would want to be. Sheafy has had a up and down series as Ferguson. I know there's a couple of velocities. Is he part of your crew, part of your outfit?
Yeah, so there's 2 Velocities out there. There's Velocity Sim Lab and a Velocity Racing Team. So Ferguson is from Velocity Racing Team. I know for sure you've got a couple more teammates out there that we have seen during the season. But yeah, I know a lot of people do get mixed up between the 2 teams. But yeah, they're 2 completely different ones. So
yeah, well, so there's Ferguson, 145.6. Connor's in the chat now. Hey Connor, how you going, mate? Hopefully you can do well here. No spoilers. Connor's another GT3 driver, mate, but it looks like this is pretty much going to be our starter. We'll have a look. The race is in checkers. If you're on a lap now, you can still finish. So Brendan Grotch is on one, Fergus is on one that we can see, and as is Michael Whiting. So 3 drivers on track at the moment, and Ferguson will be the first one to cross the line, and Grotch and Whiting are working together. So let's see what times they bring down, as Ferguson sitting there in 8th. He probably wants to improve on this 45.6, Sheafy.
yeah, he definitely wants to. Obviously, get into the 43, get into almost top 3. Doug got a 43.7, so pretty competitive out there. You see him come across the finish line. Unfortunately, I don't think he moved at all, so very unlucky there. But now Michael Ryden, he wants to move up. He wants to start in pole position. I think Grouchy as well could be the first to come across, and once again he will want to be on pole position as well. But it's a very competitive time that Hasler put out as he comes around the last corner now. and he improves his time to P2, but not enough to catch up to Hassler there. Just unfortunately probably made a mistake there and didn't improve his time either. So congratulations to Hassler for P1 for the GTPs, and also congratulations for Husey for P1 for the GT3s.
Yeah, how good was that qualifying session? And we'll just grab up the results. We've got plenty of time to go through their grid. Silverstone's a big lap, and it is a rolling start, as we've had all season. So the grand finale, it's a replay. It's already been run and done. We're not giving you anything. Don't even ask. We're not giving you anything. So we're going to play it as a live a session, and let's see how we go. So qualifying for the GT3, this is how they finished. Sheafy, Adam Hughes, P1. What a surprise, and pretty comprehensive time, and pole position winning, because 1:49.6, 0.7 of a seconds between Patrick Frame as well. So if that's got anything to do with it. The race, well, Adam Hughes is already with that time for mine, is favourite, but the GTP, they're a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely a lot more closer. The four drivers within like 0.7 of a second, and obviously want to make it very competitive last race for the season, and they definitely want to have the claim, or the rights of being not the champion, but the last winner for the year, and finish off on a high. But yeah, very interesting to see what Brandon and Michael got to do just from the get-go at the start. Will they try and attack Scotty on the first corner or not, or just sit back and just feel safe and put some strategy into the game. But it's very interesting with that. But if you were up there in the GTPs there, what would you do, Mr. Freeman?
If I was up there in the GTPs, I'd probably stay way out of the way, because no one wants to see me drive a GTP, boys. I am no good at steering one of these things. Yeah. I'll stick to the GT3s. They're slower, a lot slower, and I drive better when I'm slower.
Well, I just put a challenge out to Jake Edwards to jump in something different. Adam Hughes to jump in something different. So maybe a challenge to you to see if we can get Freo in a GTP. I'll tell you, for all comedy purposes, Sheafy, it'd be absolute. Oh, I'd be a pisser for sure. You can't take the piss out of this guy many times. At the final round of the Warren and Brown Tools IMSA Shadow Series, qualifying's done and run, and the GTPs, they'll be out on We'll let go first, and here's how they light up. Hasler and Grotch, they've been battling all season. Watch them. Nothing will change here tonight. Whiting and Mez, they'll have row number 2. Jake Edwards, watch him move up. And Dougie guns out Gowans, or Grandpa Gowans, whichever you want to say. He'll start off on 6th. Van Loon and Ferguson will have the 4th. Shane Newens and Ty Delaney will have the 5th row of the grid, Sheafy.
Yeah, and then we also got Ty Maguire and Keegan Cavell in the very last row of the GTP. But following that, we do got the GT3s with Adam Hughes starting on pole position, followed by Patrick Frame on the outside. Then we've got Connor Nixon and Greg Barber in the second row. Those two will be very feisty as well from the get-go. And then we've got Thomas Freeman, who's in here in the com box starting P5 with Braden O'Loughlin. Following that, it is Alexandra Inatis in P7 and Aaron Shot in P8, and then we've got myself, Tyler Sheaf in P9, and Callum Hodgkinson rounding out the top 10. And then behind them, it is Sean Bonici and John O'Keely rounding out the field, with Tyson McAvoy being our safety car and race control for the night. And obviously a big thank you very much for Tyson for helping us out in the season. But obviously you can see the GTPs are rolling out. There's a 30-second gap between the GTP and GT3, so be interesting to see what these boys are going to do from the get-go.
It'll be interesting. The lights go out. We're green to go. We fan out. Good start from our pole sitter Hasler as we go 3 wide into turn 1. And they make it stick in the GTPs. Whiting's off in the weeds earlier on. Is that going to bring out the safety car? Is that going to bring out the safety car as we go? We keep going. The GTPs, and we got a little bit of more action. Another spinner. That's Jake Edwards falling through as we get to the race start of the GTP, Sheafy.
Yeah, we've definitely got the GT3s out here. Obviously, using the real good stuff from the get-go. Connor Nixon gaining 1 position, and Freeman already up 2 positions from the get-go. Done a real awesome job there. But unfortunately, no, there's no other gainers there. Yeah, they're all backed out there. So there's a safety car being called. So very, very early safety car. Mr. Freeman, you obviously gained 2 positions here. What's your thoughts on the early safety car? Do you try and go like? Do you try and change strategy a little bit, or just keep to the same plan?
I think because the safety car was so early, Gretchen, I think you just stick to the same plan pretty much. Like as soon as it was called, I think I was straight on the straight off the throttle and just into fuel save mode and trying to save as much fuel as you can while it's out.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. It's something I need to do, learn to put the clutch in, but I believe they took that out in the GT3, so it does change the game a bit. As we watch the replay here, see Whiten just unfortunately looks like just all by himself straight into the wall, and it looked like it toasted the car completely. He tried to go, but it just couldn't go anywhere, which had caused the safety car. But
Here's another incident, Jake Edwards, little bit of contact I think made, and whether he's lost it himself or Netco, we may get another a look on that and probably try and unpack that. I did call it a little bit of contact here. Oh, you got the left car. I think that's Grotch, possibly one of the Frog Leak Juice. He was holding his line nut and around by himself, mate. So wow, that's early safety car. So I didn't make the mistake today and try and call the safety car, but well, they're out on track at the moment, and let's see how we go. So BMW Central up the top in the GTPs, not very surprising.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure what the best GTP is out there, but I definitely know that the BMW looks like the #1 favourite. There's 6 cars in the top 10 in the BMW. I think the Cura is P5 and Doggy Gown to see the safety car coming out. Well, I'm waiting for the drivers to come around the last corner before it goes fully on the track, but it's good to see though the variety of different drivers out there in different cars. I definitely know for sure that next season, once the series continue building up and the numbers grow, it'll be interesting to see what the other drivers, coming into the series thinks of what's the better car. Is it the BMW? Is it something else that no one else really thinks of racing? But yeah, definitely it'll be interesting to see. Just new drivers come in. I'm looking forward to see what they can do on the track, and I know that Mr. Freeman here will be very delighted for new challenges to come on board.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Even in the V8 series, there are some big names coming in, so definitely won't be a fishy top 5 or whatever it was. But yeah, it's awesome to see new drivers always coming in, and it's this league is amazing, and it's a good group of dudes running it, and race control, like we said, we harp on it all the time. So no, it's going to be a really, really exciting season coming up with across all the racing series.
And I'll just add to that, Tom, just a little bit. Well, I think you guys in the supercars, and sorry, Steve, if it's a spoiler alert. I'm not too sure if the broadcasting pairing's been named, but you drew the short straw in the supercars, so he's got me behind buttons in half the commentary. I'm not too sure who's pairing with me on for the AMs, but I know me and our fearless leader Steve will be calling the supercars. I can't wait for that. I just absolutely love supercars. I love all the series, motor racing obviously, but supercars, I'm looking forward to that next chapter of SRW in 2024, and that supercar series on the Sunday is definitely, you would have to say, the creme that's on the top, and that's why we save the best to last in the Sheafy, because the supercars, especially you boys, Tom and crew, they definitely make the week of racing come to Sunday night.
Yeah, oh yeah, I might have to have a chat to you about Tuesday night. I don't know if I can talk properly, but and keep up with you, but I might be able to give you a chop out once or twice.
Oof. Yeah, 100%. And I'm pretty sure Steve will be happy for that as well. If anyone wants to jump in for a special thing, a one-off, or if you want to join the team, I'm pretty sure Steve's still looking at expanding the team at one stage, Sheafy. So it'll be good to to have a couple of the drivers out here. Possibly, I'm not this. I'm just an employee here. It's all runs through our admin and that, but that'd be a good idea to have you in, or anyone in for once or twice throughout that series. But early safety car. Let's hope we get some green running here again. But well, it's been sort of a, the general or the new norm, or the norm rather, this series, at an early safety car. Just probably a little bit of complacency. I did say at the top of the broadcast, Sheafy, that we're trying to get it out of. We really do. We try and, in our commentary, pump them up. There's going to be 0 safety cars. I don't know if that's added pressure or not, Sheafy, but we definitely would like to see the starts just get a little bit tidier up. Connor, I did see you in the green room. Jump back in whenever you want, and we can swap yous out throughout. But I do believe that the safety car's pulled away now, Sheafy, and you can bring them to green, I think. Let's see how you go.
Yeah, I just want to say, I'll just slip this in very quickly, that Mr. Freeman here is playing a bit of mind games with me already. He went into the pitch with a couple other drivers as well, just short filming by the looks. So
Did I?
yeah, you definitely have. You're down in P7 now, so.
I'm so sorry, Chief. You're my goldfish, mate. So yeah, that's.
I love it. And as obviously safety car going in once again, you have jumped straight into the pitch. Hughes is jumping to the pitch. Everyone is jumping to the pitch, apart from the 6 drivers still out there. So this is the reason why I threw it under the under the radar, because if me staying out there, should I have followed you in? Would I feel safe enough? That sort of stuff. I know for sure I'm very hungry on my fuel. Not very good at throttle control in the GT3, but you come into this right now, lap 3, putting some fuel in, going back out. What goes through your mind of, picking the right thing? I think Adam Hughes forgot to put his tyres off.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. It's a 50-50 strat. And with a small field, it's probably. I think that's what I was probably thinking, Sheafy, on the night. It's a small field. If I just top it up, and there's not too many cars to get through, and I wasn't too sure on my pace either. So then normally, I think I was like, my pace was mid-pack in qualifying. So I thought, you know what, if I'm mid-pack, just pit and just keep up the fuel, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, definitely is a good strategy. Obviously a few drivers up ahead, 7 of us haven't been into the pitch, so everyone else going to the pitch, if you actually manage to fuel save correctly and put in the correct amount of fuel, that you don't have to go back into the pitch and just go see you later to the rest of the boys ahead. So yeah, it's a very smart game as well, but as you see, the GTPs didn't do that, especially when you're at the back as well. You do get the chance to go back up to the back of your grid, so it was interesting strategies that, from the 2 different classes, or just the styles in general. What is the best way to do it opposed to 45-minute sprint?
Look, I think the GTPs, I think they have a smaller fuel tank, so I don't know if they needed to stop twice. I honestly don't know, but yeah, look, in a 45-minute race, if it's one stop, I think I wasn't sure. I think I was just trying to see if I could do it without stopping again, but it definitely didn't work. I'm pretty sure I had to stop again. But yeah, look, I think for the 45-minute races, I think you probably need to put in a little bit of practice just so your speed, you need outright speed. 45 minutes does go pretty quick when you're behind the wheel. So I think if you're the fastest car out there, you most likely will win. So yeah, but I definitely wasn't the fastest car on the night, so I was trying to just do something a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely the smart idea is we just see a couple of the boys just trying to catch up to the field, but I believe the safety car would be coming in this lap.
Safety cars,
car has
yep.
left the field.
He has dropped away, so Brendan Grotch holds on, and we've noticed as we go to green in just a little bit, about 10% of the lap to go. We've noticed that they've gone green at different times, and it's been a mind games, and that's the beauty about just the closeness of racing here throughout all series here on SRW TV. You cannot pick as commentators when these guys are going to go green, can you, Sheafy? These guys, they switch it up every lap. Grotch and Hasler, though, both driving for Frog Leap Juice Racing. You can bet you know what, the Grotch, as soon as he goes, he's going to gone, and then you're going to watch these 2 Juice Racing guys just pull away and hopefully leaves Mez, napping. But Mez went with him as we go green again. But Mez did just have a little bit of a stutter off that restart there, and well, they get started and we're off again. Green Racing GT3s also are restarted. Oh, was that Tyler Sheaf? I do believe spinning around. Tyler Sheaf, what happened?
Yeah, I forgot cold tyres. We haven't really done the lap at all, and went a little bit too aggressive into the first corner, lost the back end. It's just a bit of calm with the Porsche. It happens all the time when you're not paying attention. But as we see the boys up ahead in the GTPs battling out.
Yeah, well, Mez would be.
Ground moment for me, Sheafy. I was behind you.
Oh.
I needed to change my jocks after that one, I think.
Plenty of moments like that as well. And Grotch and Hasler, though, they got to be careful. They're racing side by side. They're teammates. You definitely don't want to be doing this when you got Simon Mazzomo behind you. A couple of cars go wide, and well, they've just got to work together. I think these Frog League Juice guys: Grotch, Hasler, Mazzomo, Delaney, Gowans. That's your 5 in your GTP. As your GTP is led by Greggy Barber. There's a little bit of an out-of-sequence car there from the GTP earlier on. That's going to throw it up. So Barber, Nixon, Ganotis, O'Loughlin and Shotter. That's your top 5. And I noticed that Nixon lost that first position in GT3 off the restart too, because he did come into that, I'm pretty sure, leading the GT3. So we're green again, boys. We're 10 minutes into 45, so only about a quarter of a race gone. Van Loon now backs it into the wall in one of the GT3s, and I tell you, Freeman, I'm pretty sure you were close to that one as well.
Yeah, look, I think there's a little bit of carnage on that first lap, I have to say. But, yeah, look, as long as it was, Van Loon was way off the track there, so I think we're all pretty safe.
We're going again. It's happening here. Who's this? Jordan Ferguson. So that would be Ty Delaney getting pressured by Dougie Gowans behind. Although he gets the foot down and gets away from him there. So a little bit of a mistake. And hopefully now the tyres are back up to scratch and up to temperature. You would think by now that they're feeling a little bit more comfortable. This is the closest battle within the GTPs at the moment. That's Gowan, Edwards and Ferguson. That's 5th, 6th and 7th. Sheafy. And Van Loon's in the pit lane after that one, so he stayed green. So he's obviously got permission to tow.
Yeah, definitely no safety car being called for that incident there. As we see Connor Nixon in P2. He had a real good pace in qualifying. Qualified for P3 overall in the GT3. So it's just stuck behind Greggy Barber here. He's actually been really quick from time to time compared to his fellow teammate, or not teammate, shall I say, fellow competitor. But yeah, it's a very interesting strategy here. Nixon staying behind Barber with fuel save, trying to get the undercut in the pitch, especially a few other drivers behind already had been in the pitch and just trying to fuel save as well. As we see Freeman on camera right now, P6, he's putting a lot of pressure on the Fizzy Motorsport of Lachlan. But what's going through your head right now, Freeman?
I think it's just keeping clean and just making, smart passes and not really pushing anyone too soon, because, I think if you push these cars a little bit too much, they can be a little bit unstable. So, just making smart moves, like not forcing the issue too much and just trying to catch these fast guys at the front.
Yeah, and definitely already been in the pitch on the second lap, I believe, as well. You've got a little bit more fuel compared to the boys ahead of you as well. But fuel saving, was that definitely on the agenda as well? Were you on board with the 50 Motorsport?
Look, I think it was at the start, I think, and then when I realised it, I need to stop again. I was pretty much like, let's drop the fuel saving out the window and let's just not go hard, but let's just keep the rhythm up, get the pace up, and see how far we can move forward.
It's really good to see Soda being dragged in as well.
Talk about dragging in. Let's drag in Connor Nixon, and we'll have a chat with him as we get going. As we just jump back to these GT3, Hasler, Grotch, Mazzomo are still leading. They're starting to push away from the field, about a 4-second gap back to Ty Delaney. And Ty Delaney, the leading Fishy Motorsport in the GTP at the moment. The young fella is going great guns. Jake Edwards is on a comeback drive down the inside of Dougie Gowans. Plenty of room given, but it's not over yet. That's your teammate in the heat of it. He's got the inside line for the next 2 sections. Pulls out of it, jumps in behind, and a bit of smart driving there. Ferguson was thinking about going in with him there, but I think the race brains have pulled themselves together, and common sense prevailed in that one, and plenty of time to go in this racing. Still half an hour as we've got Connor in here now, mate. It's been a long time between drinks. We're having a chat in here, mate, but, well, it was, well, you say fuel saving, so let's see how that goes throughout the race. Good morning to you, first and foremost, Connor. It's a great series, and good to call you running around this track the last few rounds at least, anyway.
Yeah, morning, mate. It's early, but I thought I'd jump on. But yeah, good to see you all. It's been a while since I've been in this complex actually chatting. But but yeah, no, it was an awesome race around here. Really enjoyed it. Silverstone's such a great track. I mean, I think everyone enjoys it. Doesn't matter what car you're in, GTP, V8, GT3. I mean, it's just such an amazing track. I mean, a V8's an absolute boat around here, but I'm sure it's yeah, it's good fun, and yeah, I know Freeman's pretty successful around here. But yeah, no, it was an awesome night actually.
Where isn't he successful, Connor? But we'll leave that one alone. But hey, Connor, you're equally as successful as we watch some of these battles play out. On track, and we'll actually might jump onto you now. And fuel saving, you say? There's a little bit of a gap between you and Greggy at this point. 15 minutes through the race. Can you remember where your sort of race brain was at?
Yeah, so it's quite funny. Husey, Greg, myself, and Edwards were all chatting in the one comms. We're all good mates, so we're all just having a yarn and just a bit of talking, I guess. Yeah, it was great fun, and I said to basically Greg, I'll just stay behind you, save a bit of fuel, because I knew Freeman pitted, and I'm figuring out in my head like how much he's put in the car. I think it was like 7 litres or something, so I was like, alright, I just need to save a little bit and I should be okay. I didn't want to use all the pace up straight away and use all that rear tyre, so I was like, okay, I'll just sit behind Greg and get all the dirty air and just sit back and have some fun for a bit. The fronts got cooked, but the rears were fine, so it wasn't too bad. But I just sat there and had a bit of fun, and yeah, it was good to I have the slipstream as well, but it was yeah, I got a huge slipstream through here, so I actually had to lift so much to not hit the back of Greg. But it was interesting not to be in a GDP after a while, because Jamie kicked me into a GT3 for these last couple of rounds. So yeah, I was trying to get used to a GT3 because I never drive them.
All right, we'll turn you up a bit. Hey Pete, how you going? Welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for giving us a shout about all that. It sounds a little bit different in my ears, but Connor, I suppose the question on everyone's lips right now is, are we going to see you back for 2024 series in SRW TV in some sort of capacity?
Yeah, 100%. We're definitely going to be back. I was just chatting to all the boys in the chat before about doing next season. Yeah, Jake and myself will definitely come back, and we've got a lot more drivers coming on board next year. So yeah, we'll definitely be back. It's a good series to keep you fresh and on the pin. We definitely noticed as a team, Vermilion Motorsport, we noticed when Scops and everything finished up, we were like, what can we do? And those last couple of rounds at SRW was just awesome, because we could come back, have a bit of fun, but keep our brain on point, and yeah, mess around with Freeman and all the boys, and yeah, it was good fun. I know Jake was highly competitive, and yeah, he wants the championship next year, which is yeah, going to be awesome to see. And yeah, it should be good fun. But yeah, it's good to race around with all the fishy guys and have a good time. And yeah, no, we'll definitely be back next season, and I'm sure Mr. Christensen will be back as well in his little shitbox. But
you love the 86s, don't you, mate? You absolutely love them.
Oh, Jamie loves them. He mate, I swear, we're both in WA. All three of us, Jake, Jamie, and myself, are all in WA. And he's like, mate, you need to jump in the 86. Dude, I cannot drive it for monkeys, and he's like, nah, still trying to kick me into it. But good fun, good move there.
It is, yeah, it's a good move. I just turned to this battle here, Shotter. Barber and Freeman. There's another battle happening a little bit behind them as well. Freeman looks like he's gone down the inside, gets that job done. Ganotis just slips back a little bit, and I think Patrick Frame is slipped back a little bit there. Sheafy, Patrick Frame, he was up there in qualifying, finds himself down 7 from where he started, so he qualified 11th, so he may have changed it. And the GTPs are starting to get through this GTP field. Sheafy, 10 laps it took here at Silverstone. It's a little bit longer than what we're used to, but it is a long lap as now the challenge arrives for both classes.
Yeah, obviously, just talk about framing. He did go for a pit stop under safety car, changing strategy, so that is the reason why he's so far back. But unfortunately, just struggling to get half the cars ahead. Well, they're putting in a really awesome battle. Sean Bonici just, unfortunately, under a lot of pressure, you just let him go. And he just thinks that fuel saving might be the better way to try and underfuel and get ahead of a few other drivers ahead. But yeah, unfortunately the GTPs took a few more extra laps to get to the safety cars. That is the reason why I took to lap 10 for some drivers. I think it was lap 9 for me. I was a little bit further back in the grid, but it is good fun to see them out there. You see Ty Delaney unfortunately lost 2 positions. He was battling with Edwards and Gowans, but unfortunately lost out in the battle. With the CG3 driver going off the road, just letting them have plenty of room and no contact made. But this part here in the section through the S's, the most awkward timing as well. Just see that unfortunately Ty Delaney, behind Jake Edwards, just stuck behind GT3, lost a little bit of time there. It's just very, very difficult, and there's a lot of patience as well. Like, I know the GTP's trying to keep up with the cars ahead, but they've got to be wary that the GT3's got to be on the track at some sort of, they can't just hop off the track. The last thing you want to do is get incident points, get black flags, or just hit the grass, spin, and actually crush everyone out. So a little bit of patience is key in a mixed class like this.
And I think what Tom touched on it, sort of the top of this race is that, it might take 3 or 4 seconds where you have to just slot in behind, because the disparity of speed between GTP and GT3 is so different. You're talking, I'll get the lap times up and we'll have a look at their last lap times. There's a little bit of traffic. 1:47.1 was the quickest time, 2 minutes in the GT3. So disparity is 13 seconds a lap here at Silverstone. So we'll have a look once they probably catch him again, Sheafy. Probably give the viewers a little bit better look at it, and we'll have a look in the rear view camera. But have a look at, I think that's Connor Nixon. No, it wasn't you, Connor. It was someone else I just noticed, just trying to use. But you're in a GT3 anyway, so I will cut to you, Connor. You can use, for very limited time, obviously, because the disparity of speed is so large, but you can use the GTP's speed in the draft, can't you? As we're probably going to get a little bit of an example there. Oh, she's gone.
I was going to say, it's like trying to throw a rope onto the back of a goldfish, like Freeman said. I love that name, by the way, Freeman. I'm going to call you that all the time now. But no, you try and throw a rope onto the back, but you probably get 5Ks maximum out of it, not even that. So it's almost worth just getting out of their way and just being respectful. From experience with Jake Edwards, knowing him, he's always worrying that he's going to hit Adam, Greg or myself, so he's always trying to keep meters off us, and I'm sure that's around with everyone. So I know there's a lot of teams in here, so I'd say everyone's trying to just stay away from teammates and not try and kill anyone, because it's definitely not a good thing when you get a Discord message going, hey, you hit me, you know what I mean? So you try and stay away from that as much as possible. As my teammates say, Jake, he says, trying to not make friends, basically mean enemies. So trying to not make friends is always the plan.
And also when you're in championships like this, when you've got big teams that have brought big numbers to, to a season, and you're one of them guys that just have to, just have to make contact, and it's not on purpose. There's no malice here, but you're going to have, maybe especially Tom's team, like it's respectful. It's racing though. Well, there's another 5 or 6, just use this, your two teams as an example. There's probably another 4 or 5 fishy boys out on track, even if you're in different classes. If you upset one of them, well, they're going to make it a little bit more difficult for you, and that's the nature of the beast. I don't think I'm talking out of school or out of my what either. I think that's a thing.
No, I've definitely had to deal with all the fishy guys trying to put fire down my neck. I've dealt with that before. It's not fun.
What about that, Tom? Shots fired, mate.
No, I'm not even listening.
No, but I mean, yeah, no, it's I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to race and just have a good time. I think that's what I've learned in the last 12 months or so. So you just try and just try and stay out of everyone's way and just have a good time, But it's trying to keep a gap between, like, for instance, Freeman and myself, right? Like, I'm trying to help Greg push, get him out of the tow from Freeman and the other Ferrari, but it's but yeah, you try and not bring Freeman any closer because it's like you want him to burn his tyres up to, I guess, get the win at the end of the day. So it's all strategy, and I know, it's all about just, strategy at the end of the day. It doesn't feel like racing anymore in these GT3s, but that's how it goes, I guess.
It is. Hasler, Groch, Mazzomo, Gowans, Edwards, top 5 in GTP, Nixon, Barber, Schotter, Freeman, Ganotis, top 5 in GT3. Sheafy, Ganotis a little bit further back from where we usually see him. He's sitting back there in 5th in GT3, although rather he's sitting there in 5th position. When I say back a little bit further, I thought he'd be up there probably battling with Barber and Schotter and that, but a couple of guys a little bit out of sequence, I think, Sheafy, than what I'm used to seeing. But all in all, they're all separated, and we've stayed clean since we've been green for a little bit now. Was a little bit of battle. Oh, no. So Braden O'Loughlin gets around just an out of sequence car, I think that was. No, they're racing for position. That's in fact Frame. Shocking day for Frame after a pretty good qualifying session, you would think, Sheaf.
Oh, not really. Obviously, Freeman before. He's one of the drivers that went to the pitch with him just to change the strategy a bit. Having a small field, just trying to go for an early pit stop and go for the rest of the race. It's obviously a real good strategy and good risky one too, because only 12 cars out there just allows you to do it. But if you have like 18, 20 cars out there, you wouldn't do such a thing. So if you didn't go for the pitch, you'll be up there fighting with the likes of Nixon and Barber for the podium position, if not for the win currently. But he's definitely banking on fuel saving and putting in that strategy, just underfueling and getting back ahead. But unfortunately, the traffic ahead has cost him a lot of time compared to the others. You see Freeman jumping straight into the pitch. He knows that he cannot make it, and he's also knows as well that he's just been held up a little bit. So if he get into fresh air all by himself, he can try and undercut the drivers ahead and get himself in contention for the top 3. But definitely know for sure that Freeman just done the calculations, and unfortunately he knows that he had to go in for another time. But the good thing about it though, having 7 less litres to fill up in the car, you can underfill and gain a couple more seconds from that.
Yeah, it's definitely that last stop. Get home, get filled, get out of the pit lane, and get back on the racetrack and see what they can do. But well, pull yourself out of the battle sometimes is a little bit better, isn't it, Tom? That just, if you find yourself getting held up because you're in the heat of it. I think the timing screens are showing around about 0.1, 0.2 of a second at that stage before you dropped in the pit. Is that pretty accurate, mate? You probably thought you were getting slowed up a bit. Just take yourself out of the battle and shorten your stop.
Yeah, I think, look, honestly, I think all the boys had a really good pace. So, I mean, it was more of, I was probably a little bit quicker, and I felt that, now was the best time to pit, and I think I'll also come out in clear air. I also overfueled the car too, which is a little bit disappointing. But, hey, look, I don't think there was anyone really slow here at Silverstone, but it was just, get out in clear air and see what I could do, and where I come out once all the pit stops are done.
we'll keep an
I was
eye on
gonna
that, won't
say,
we, Shiffy? And Connor, mate.
I was gonna say I'll put a note on that. I was gonna say everyone was fast. The one thing I noticed was you just had to keep consistent. So you'd almost like back off to 85, 90% instead of being 100%, because like if you made an error, like if you lost 5/10 or something, you're pretty much screwed. So it was like keep more consistent and just have consistent pace, and it wins you the race somehow. But yeah, when Freeman pitted, I was like, yeah, okay, now we need to start pushing just a little bit more, because I was like, don't know what the strategy was at that point, but yeah, that was quite interesting. How much fuel did you need to put in anyway, Freeman?
Oh, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
Goldfish,
I
remember?
It was 9
Yeah,
seconds
goldfish.
for the pit time for Freeman, so I don't know how much fuel that equates to, but it's a small plus and dust for him, so just enough to get over the board. Especially that, a safety car, especially now that the field's spread out, the likelihood for a safety car is very unlikely. So it was a smart play for Freeman just to get out in first hand. Yeah, hope for the best, that you can just try and get an undercut on a few drivers out there. But your lap time though, personal best is a 1:58.9. That was the quickest out of anyone else, and only one below the 2-minute mark. So you definitely showed a lot of pace out there.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Me overfueling, it definitely wasn't the that wasn't why I didn't win. It was my outright. I think it was my just consistent pace overall that didn't get me there. But yeah, that's awesome. There you go. I showed a little bit of pace. And being the only Mercedes out there too, like Pete said before, so that's actually pretty cool as well. I didn't realise that until Pete said it.
Yeah, there's the times up. The fastest GTP 142.3, 158.9 is the fastest lap out there for their classes at the moment. Leaders in both class is Grotch and Nixon. Nixon, you're in the lead now, so you've got around Barber, and I'm sure he was probably a little bit happy with that, and he can sit back, hopefully keep that gap and save fuel. But it looks like you're not stuffing around. You've put the foot down and away you go.
Yeah, like I said, I just saw Freeman go in, and I knew Hughesy was coming. Oh, big old Hughesy, big rig. He was coming up the field through too, so it was like, okay, now let's put the foot down. So I was like, yeah, well, I think I saved about 2-3 litres at that point, so I was like, yeah, I can push now. And obviously good mates with Craig, but I was like, nah, see you later, mate. Didn't want to stay around. But,
No mates on the racetrack, mate.
Oh, mate, when you get in the sim, yeah, you pretty much got no mates besides your teammates, and yeah, no, that was good. But yeah, I had a chat though after all the boys, and Greg was like, yeah, couldn't keep up with you anyway, so I was like, yep, too easy. So, but yeah, no, old Hughesy was coming up through the field as well, so yeah, I was keeping a very, very close eye on him because yeah, at the end of the race it was very interesting. So yeah, I'm glad I did.
As you can see below, you can see Mez, Gowan, Lachlan, Seif in the pitch as well, so the pit window definitely open now. Obviously a few drivers staying out there for a little bit longer because they did jump in the pitch a little bit early, especially in the GT3s, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here with the GTPs because Delaney did come in a little bit earlier, so it'll be interesting to see if you can try and make some gap and time on the cars ahead from doing it. Ajay came in a lap before, same thing with Evers as well, he came in lap 15 as well. Now you see Freeman, he came in lap 12, 2 laps earlier than anyone else, which is obviously just now just been held up a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, with the 2 cars ahead.
He's got Frame and Ganotis in front. Sorry, that's Benici and Frame. He looks like he's just going down the inside now as Freeman gets that done. Plenty of racing room given, so that's always good to see. But he's sticking with you now, Tom, and well, Patrick, not Patrick Frame. That's Benici. Sorry, is your next victim. Let's see how quick he can get him. Benici pit on lap 1, Frame pit on lap 1, Freeman on lap 12. So bit of a difference there. Obviously, that would have been Frames and Benici's pretty average starters. Barber, Nixon, Ganotis now run down the lane with, well, we're into just outside the 10 minutes to go. So 33 done, 12 to go.
Yeah, definitely be interested to see what happens. To see the other 2 boys, well, no, only one of them, just Benucci going into the pit. Very surprising there that the others didn't follow there. But yeah, obviously Soda at the moment, currently in P2, hadn't hit the pitch yet, so he knows for sure he's just trying to go for the overcut compared to everyone else around him. But he does got Adam Hughes ahead, so maybe just using the strategy of using the toe fill saving so you can underfill in the pitch. It's also a smart idea as well. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit tight now because only 10 minutes to go, and yeah, a lot of these drivers here, they know they're going to go into the pit, but they're just trying to save as much time as possible in the pit lane because it is quite a decent time loss in that lane, unfortunately.
Yeah, pit lane time, what are we looking from, you know, sort of control line to control line, 41 seconds. The longest out there, Van Loon, but I do believe that's probably when he hit the wall, so that's like a 1 minute 6, so around about in between the 40 to 44 second mark, and it doesn't look to be, you know, different in the classes as well. So even though, you know, different fuel loads and whatnot, they must be doing similar service times because we're all looking at around about in between that 40 to 44 as the GTPs come across the GT3s for the second time, and we may get to see it again, but I'm not too sure exactly. Hasler, Grotch, Mazomo, that's your 3 in your GTP. Hughes, Shot of Frame is your 3 in your GT3, and it's been a pretty good race, hasn't it, Sheafy, since these guys have had our safety car, had our little bit of a slip up, as we've seen sort of throughout the season. Oh, look at that was close. Little bit of lap traffic there, but yeah, all is good and well at the minute, and there's only one real battle that we can see, and that's with Ferguson and Simon Mazomo, about 0.7 of a second through that, and Mazomo passes Connor Nixon, and Ferguson goes with him.
Yeah,
that was a scary moment.
Yeah, I think nothing any more awkward or feel scary when you're just approaching the corner and you just don't know whether or not the driver behind in the GTP has got to actually try and make a break into that corner. As you see Ferguson just trying to keep ahead and just staying in the toe of Simon, which is obviously, like what Connor said before, a little bit scary because you're like, yeah, I know I'm already about to turn into this corner here, but I know that you're a faster
big
car.
lock-up.
So yeah, that's a massive lock-up there. That's very deadly because that just allows the GT3 driver to approach him a little bit quicker as well. But yeah, just very smart strategy there from Mesmo, just getting past the drivers as well. But it's a bit like winning the lottery ticket though. You know, it just depends on where you meet the drivers on the track, you know. Sometimes you get them on the straight and you go by them with no ease, or you hit them by the corner and unfortunately got to slam on the brake because you got nowhere else to go. So see Callum Hodgkinson just battling out with Benucci out there on track as well. Unfortunately 20 seconds behind P7, but these two are the closest so far in GT3s, which is good to see. But, well, I do got to say, Adam Hughes put in a ripper of a lap with a 157.1 in the GT3. I don't know where he pulled that out of, but showed a fair bit of pace there in the last lap.
He's picked that up.
That's just a Hughesy thing.
Yeah, Hughesy doing Hughesy things. He's picked that up from the Weybridge, Connor, I reckon.
Mate, he's I don't know where he's pulled it from. Honestly, it's yeah, it's like he was doing a Jamie. He was just pulling pace out of thin air. So yeah, it's yeah, he was doing magical things that night. But luckily, he did that pit stop early on. But I was gonna just put a note on that GTP and the GT3s passing each other. That I don't think it's a luck thing. I think it's actually more the GT3 and the GDP. Like if the GDP loses time through a corner, for instance, like 5/10 or something stupid or something, you know, like obviously they're going to be compromised for the next lap and try and, you know, catching up to GT3s and getting around them. It just makes it a lot more painful. So you're just trying to not lose time than anything overall in those GDPs, it feels like, because the more time you lose, it just gets you out of whack for passing GT3s and you're not passing them in the same spot consistently. Because you normally pass them in the same spot every time you come around. So it's actually a good indication how much time you've lost or gained. That's what I've noticed driving these things in the LMP2, which bring the LMP2 in. SRW, please. but no, it's definitely one of those things. But yeah, no, it's one of those scary ones when you get one of those drivers that are very not patient. I would, yeah, say.
Yeah, it is like that too, and it's give and take. And I think I said it pretty nicely at the top of the broadcast, where it's a risk versus reward. And obviously now with only 7 minutes to go, that gap between risk versus reward, it's paper thin. You know, if you're gonna make them moves, you know, the dicey, the 50-50 calls, it's probably about now, and that's why we see, you know, incidents at the start of the race when everyone's bunched up with cold tyres, cold brains, that kind of stuff, and then also at the end, it's not because they got cold tyres, cold brains, it's because it's the ladder. It's where it's like, it's now or never. You got to go now. So risk versus rewards, paper thin, and that's what I like to see at the end of it. We had the safety car at the start, and with a long lap here at Silverstone, I don't think we're going to get the norm of, you know, the GTPs just trying to get around the GT3s with about a minute or two to go. But we're only about 4 or 5 minutes from that, because they just pretty much finished their, you know, their circulation of the GT3s. As it stands at the minute, but I think all these guys now sorted out in the way of pit stop strategy and that, and talk about Freeman's early pit stop has brought him back up to 4th after that strategy, so is in good stead. I don't even know where he finishes, and no spoilers obviously, but we'll see in 5 minutes. Nixon, Barber, Hughes, Freeman, Schotter in your GT3s at the minute, and BMW. So everyone said the Porsche would be, the Ferrari or the Porsche, well, said by choosing it would be going to be the quickest. And a car, or both cars that only have one apiece, BMW and the Mercedes, Sheafy in Nixon and Freeman, they're both in the top 5. So them cars, I think the other guys that are driving Ferraris and Porsches might look at the Mercedes and BMW a little bit differently if we come to Silverstone again in 24.
Well, definitely the question is when you look at the track selection, what one the most strongest? You see Adam Hughes just make an overtake on Greggy Barber up to P2, but like unfortunately, no matter what, when you go to different tracks, different cars are going to be stronger. So, say for example, Silverstone looks like Connor's very strong, and the BMW probably is the strongest car out there on track at the moment. But you can go to another track and it could be one of the weaker ones compared to the likes of the Porsche and the Merc and the Ferrari. So it depends on just the track layout and everything like that, and also as well that just the driver as well, just being in the right place at the right time, getting in a good quality lap, staying out of trouble, putting in consistent laps, that can put them up ahead as well. So Connor looks like he's done a real good job, even though he's not the quickest man in the GT3, but it looks like he's the most consistent man out there with his lap times, which put him in a nice good 4 per second.
I couldn't say that in a V8. I'm glad I'm consistent in a GT3, so I'm glad I've put that out there.
What happened, mate? What have you gone? What's happened in the supercar? You used to be pretty consistent in the supercar, and let's have a look now. It's a little bit of an example. It's taken me a little bit of a while to give the viewers an example. So here's the GTP going to pass Connor Nixon, possibly. A little bit of a windy section here, so GT3 sort of looks like it. They may have a...
Now watch the turbos.
Yeah, there we go. Have a look at this. Gone. That's 13 seconds, lap time disparity play out right there. That was a good example. Only took me 43 minutes to get it. But, all the battles are starting to happen now. Greg Barber is working with Adam Hughes. Thomas Freeman's a little bit behind that battle. Schotter behind there. And Mover and Shaker. Oh, the biggest mover, Ty Delaney, up 15. And while the other end of that stick is one of his teammates in Michael Whiting, in fact, out of the race, down 20, Sheafy. We don't like to see a fishy down that far. But, Tom, you might have to get a net and scoop Michael back into the pond because he's a fish out of water.
Yeah, I think he needs to jump back into a GT3 car, to be honest. They do the Enduros, and I don't think the boys have driven a GT3 in a very long time. I think I'm the only one that drives a GT3 in the pod at the minute. But I've tried my best to get him back in a GT3, but yeah,
not that convincing, Tom. Apparently.
Oh, look, that's alright. I don't know. Maybe I'm intimidating, but no, it's all good. I think
further down the pay grade, mate.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's it. I think if Mike's in the same car as me, he's got to pay a little bit more. I think. I don't know.
Or he's got to work a little bit harder.
Yeah, or if he's going to work a little bit harder. No, I think it's funny. I always give him shit about driving the GTPs because I think they're just a bloody spaceship. So I always call them astronauts and give him a little bit of grief. But no, look, I think it's just a driving style thing. I just cannot pull the thing up to save my life. Like that guy that was locking up before, that'd be me every corner. And you know, Jakey Edwards, he spun earlier in the race, that would be me every corner as well. So yeah.
And Jake Edwards, he's been a formidable part of this this series, and he's way up there in the pointy end of the championship standings as well. So they're tough cars to drive. I can't get my my head around them, Connor. No spoilers. We'll do that at the end.
I was gonna say, like, I was chatting to him the other day before this race, and I said, "How are you going to this championship, mate?" It was before Silverstone. He said, "Yeah, not too bad. I'm actually like P1." And I went, "What do you mean?" And he went, "I just turn up to every round and just survive, and I seem like I do all right." And I went, "Apparently so." But he said to me, "It's just keeping consistent. Like, it's just because they're such spaceships, as Freeman says, like that you've just got to keep consistent. It's not like a GT3 where you can go, oh no, I've just, you know, dabbled in some ABS. Oh no, I've failed." But it's, you know, with these things, you just lock up and yeah, bye. You know, obviously you see like the likes of Jake and Whiting, who are very good drivers, that, you know, made that mistake in lap 1 and yeah, had to crawl back through the field or been out of the race. So yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you can't really bugger up in these cars compared to a GT3.
Well, the time's just been up as Scott Hasler, and I almost got sidetracked there. Sheafy, I almost was just about to start calling Hasler across the line, but I remembered, hang on a minute, there's 2 here, 50% of the lap done, and the time's, it's finished as well, so we're probably going to see Barney wave that checkered flag when Hasler crosses the finish line, Sheafy. But Hasler, Groch, Mazzomo, it looks like their positions are set in stone, and well, it's been a pretty good race. We'll have to see if this is all she wrote. It got spread out a little bit, but there was still some good battles throughout, and well, it's a pretty good way to finish the series as Scotty Hasler comes across the last corner for the very last time. Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series just crosses the line for the final round. Grotchi, he comes home for Frog Leap Juiced in second. Mazzomo for 9.5 in the GT3s in third position. Connor Nixon, you got the W for this one in the GT3s. How good that feel? Adam Hughes and Thomas Freeman is your podium. So Sheafy, although it did get a little bit spread out, it was actually a pretty good race, and Connor and Tom, I think, has made that job a little bit easier because it was a little bit spread out throughout the end of the race. But Sheafy, 45 minutes run and done. That's the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series run and done as well. But what do you think, mate? It was a good race nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. The strategy obviously played a massive part in this race. If the safety car hadn't came out, it probably would have been a lot more closer battles. You know, see the likes of Freeman and a few other in the GT3 like Freeman, that they jumped into the pits. You know, tried to do the other field, tried to change the strategy a bit, which putting them out of position a little bit. You know, they got stuck behind a few of the. I'm not going to say slower guy, but the pace, like natural pace, just a little bit, tad bit slower. Just holding them back a bit, which allowed to like that Connor Nixon and Hughesy and Barber, that, you know, that just a lot of free air and a lot less competition. You know, they know that they go there, set consistent lap time, set quicker lap times in that station where they don't have to battle against the quick boys. Yeah, it was real smart on them. But yeah, the GTPs as well. You know, I just looking at the time, and Scotty Hasler is just, that man's quick, got the quickest lap from 42.3, and is very consistent as well. Like his last lap time was a 45.8, so quicker than anyone else. It's just coming across the final lap. So yeah, it's a lot of battles out there on track, but yeah, just unfortunately, Patrick Frame was probably the biggest loss in that race. He started P2, unfortunately stuck behind a lot of cars and finished P6 overall. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what the boys can do next season. But as you see here, Scotty Hasler was the winner in the GTPs.
Yeah, they done a formidable job, Frogley, Juice Racing, all year. Scotty Hasler, Brendan Grotch, so Frogley 1 and 2, and then Mazzy sort of split him up there, wasn't he? Done a good job. I think everyone does that. If you run a different livery or you're in a different team, you definitely want to block the 1, 2, and 3. And Tom, you would feel that, I think, a little bit more than most, because you're in. Well, if there's any team that gets the most, I think you'd definitely be one of them, being Fishy Motorsport. Do you feel that you get a lot more challenges, from other teams to sort of block that podium, or the podium lockout, rather, I should say?
Oh, look, Pete, I think I'm definitely not the fastest in any car by any means. So, and as Nixon touched on as well, it's just about being, when he was talking about Jake Edwards, it's a matter of just being consistent and just getting through all the races. I missed a lot of races this season, which is a little bit shattering, but yeah, look, I think there's fast drivers, and and they're in every team, and it's just good to see, again, all different teams battling it out. And we don't want to see the same teams week in and week out on the podium, and we don't want to see the same drivers either. But as they say, you've got to be in it to win it. So whoever puts their hand up and puts in the time and effort, they will come out around the pointy end of the field.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it throughout, Hamish and myself, throughout the series, and we've talked about consistency quite a... ignore that wasn't correct. We've talked about that a lot, I think, Sheafy, and consistency, does play off, and I think we can get the results up, and we'll start running through, this round first and foremost, Sheafy, and we'll get rid of it, because you've got a race to play very soon, or to race very soon, Sheafy. Let's get these results up and let you take to the track, as the GT3 results coming up on screen right now. And as we just said, Connor Nixon, what a race, Vermilion Motorsport, Adam Hughes and Thomas Freeman. That's your podium. Shotter, Barber, they had a really good battle throughout, and good race. Frame, Gnotis, O'Loughlin. Cullen Hodgkinson, he'll probably want to improve on his consistency throughout. As we're talking consistency, gets championships. Tyler Sheaf, Benisi and John O'Keeley, they're the finishing for the GT3 positions for this final round. Sheafy and GTP, they've been the star of the show, and they've battled hard, and here's how they ended up.
Yeah, we've definitely got Scotty Hasler taking out the victory in the final race of the season, and just the year in general, with Brendan Rooch followed behind him in P2. Simon Mesmo was the last on the podium as well in P3. Then we've got Dougie Gowan in P4 and Ty Delaney, the young gun in the 50 Metroport in P5. Following that as well, we had Jake Edwards in P6. With Shane Newland in P7, and then got Jordan Ferguson in 8th, and Scotty Van Loon in 9th, and then Michael Whiten in P10. And I believe that Twin McGuire and Keegan Calwell didn't make it out on the field. So, yeah, very unfortunate racing for Whiten. He had a mishap in the first lap, which ruined his night. But it's good to see that the boys come out week in, week out. Yeah, just definitely looking forward to next season being bigger and brighter.
It's going to be bigger and better. The IMSA GT3 series is returning, as is all of the series here on SRW TV. The registrations are open, well and truly open, and I do believe a couple of our series have already opened up a reserve side. So we've had the numbers, we've had the support coming into, in 2023, 2024, looks like it's going to be a strong one as well. Go check out www.srwtv.com.au. Go register as a driver. You get a Discord invite autonomously in your emails. Join the Discord, join the fun, and hopefully catch us all out on track next season as well. They're the results, done and dusted. And Sheafy, let's bring up these championship standings, mate, because it's been a long, hard-fought championship, and, here's how they ended up, mate. Jake Edwards, we sort of gave that away a little bit, but, yeah, 2,880 points, back to Scott Hasler, 2,583. So just shy of 300 points of difference between Edwards and Hasler. That word consistency really does play out here with, rock up every day, or every round rather, and just have a crack generally, and the points there. So congratulations, Crisscross Racing, Jake Edwards, for taking out the championship for the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series for 2023, and Hasler and Grotch second and third as well. And it went down to the wire, didn't it? Only around about 40, or was that 50 points between Hasler and Grotch?
Yeah, 150 points, but obviously it's just a make or break in the race. Just takes one bad race for you to drop down the order. So it's good to see the boys come week in, week out and just battling. And I definitely know for sure next season they'll be a hell of a lot more closer, especially with a few more other drivers coming in for the mix. But if we look into the GT3 Championship, I believe it is the man Greggy Barber winning the championship by 67 points, so a lot more closer compared to the GTP, but well done for Greggy Barber for taking it out, with Aaron Schotter finishing in second, and Harry Dodds. He's a very unfortunate man. He did get an injury coming into this round, hurting his wrist playing footy, so that is why we didn't see him out there in track in the last round. So he finished P3 overall, so he'd be very happy still finishing on the podium, considering that he had to drop around.
Yeah, well, just comes back to that word we've used a lot, consistency. Injury, well, that's it's just an unhelped thing, but hindsight's a lovely thing. What could have Dodds done to, if he wasn't injured? Where would he have made it up there? Well, I'm sure we'll have to wait until 2024, but, well, this round's done and won. We got one more to go. Sheafy's got a race to do. I'm going to go out and do some work, stop being so lazy, and then we'll come back and we'll do the grand finale of the simrigs.com amateur V8 supercars. I tell you, amateur in the name. On track, they're definitely not. We've got Sheafy's in here with me. We've got Connor Nixon and Thomas Freeman. Thomas, you're on the podium. Connor, you're on the podium. For all the fishy boys out there, Ty Delaney, the young fella, actually was the leading fishy motorsports GTP. So good for the young fella. And Tom, on behalf of you and your team, shout out to your sponsors, mate, for one last time for 2023.
Oh, yeah, thanks, boys. Yeah, so Fishy Motorsports, I don't have the sponsors up, but all our sponsors, to SRW as always, to you boys for putting it on, and especially, putting it on. It was a delayed stream a couple of weeks ago, but it was an awesome race to watch, and I'm so glad that you actually put it up in stream. So good to jump in with you guys and have a chat. Awesome day and perfect timing to have a day off. I just want to wish all the boys, all the teams and SRW crew, Fishy boys, all a Merry Christmas, and to their families as well. Have a safe holiday, and I'm sure we'll see you either next year, in the officials or something, or we'll definitely see you next year. Definitely,
we'll see you next year, and we're SRW will be down at Summernats this Canberra as well. So go check out the Rare Spares tent there, and you might be able to meet some of the boys. And Connor Nixon, well, P1 in GT3 here tonight. Can't really remember where you ended up in the championship. I'll actually get that back up. A little bit further down.
Don't check.
Yeah, don't check. Nah, he's gone. He's all the way down the bottom. He's not even on the page. So,
I'll try to be more consistent next season.
Well, consistent. We're using that a lot. Turn up every week and have a crack, and you'll be up there, no doubt, mate. But Vermilion Motorsport, Connor Nixon, congratulations for the season. Have a safe Christmas, mate. And shout out to your sponsors and who gets you here.
Yeah, too easy. Yeah, so big shout out to Berling Motor Group, big major sponsor on the car now. Race Labs Overlays, Dr. Proxy, Turn-In Apparel Racing, and Moser Racing, and then Curtis Bird for the brand new livery on my Ford Mustang. That looks amazing, and he'll be doing all our paints for next year. So yeah, looking forward to it, and big year next year. And yeah, thanks to all the SRW crew for putting everything on this whole year. I know Vermilion only joined, I think, halfway in the year, but yeah, it's been a cracker of a season. Even the V8 series, we did scops and stuff, but every time we had a free moment to jump in and race with all the boys, yeah, it was an epic time. Yeah, so thank you all you guys for commentating and race control, and yeah, thanks for all the teams. I'm basically saying what Freeman said, so sorry, Freeman. But yeah, yeah, it's been a cracker of a year, and yeah, can't wait until next year. Merry Christmas.
Yep, Merry Christmas. Have a safe one, definitely. We echo them sentiments. We'll probably do a little bit more of that that stuff after being the last one for the year, Sheafy. But while the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series is run and done, Jake Edwards and Greg Barber, Greg Barber were the championship leaders in each class, Sheafy. And well, any final words before we wrap this up and get out of here and do something?
No, just anyone that's watching, please do join. Don't be afraid to challenge these boys. Yeah, I know that they can be a little bit dominating at times, but before you know it, you'll get a lot more quicker. And if you're very consistent, that's a key word. You might pinch a championship. So just jump on, have a bit of fun, and there's other series as well. We've got the V8s, the Formula 3s, and the 86s as well. So if you're more keen in driving them, hurry up and sign up before they get locked out.
Yeah, well, we do know that one series has gone into reserves, I do believe, so it's only a matter of time before any of the others. So, well, let's get out of here. That's the Warren and Brown IMSA Shadow Series. That's the grand finale replayed from a couple of weeks ago. The results we've gone through, it was a great season. On behalf of Hamish, myself, all of SRW TV, Tom and Connor in here today. It was a great day, and like I said, stay tuned. There'll be the grand finale of the simrigs.com V8 Amateur Series in a couple hours' time. So, from everyone here, have a good afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Total one, this is amazing. Up clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostyn and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tennant, Jamie Dyke just absolutely blown away from him. Hayden's trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough.